now?
3 weeks, because I'm going to be gone. I'm busy all this week, and I'm away the week after next.
Okay, so he'll send out an email closer to that date for potluck. Robert, anything else?
Not on my end, if you can hear me.
We can hear you.
Okay, let's switch the microphone back.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Jim, do you have any announcements?
No, I'm good. Do you already have the third judge assigned, or you need me to look at the list?
No, I don't know who it is.
All right, who did we have last month?
Chuck, wasn't it?
Chuck last month.
Okay. All right, let me look at the list here.
Oh, Lynn. Now, the new guy. Anything about the new guy?
The new guy.
Oh, Caesar?
Yeah.
Caesar's been to a couple of our meetings. He just kind of sits there in the corner.
So is it Caesar or Cesar?
Caesar.
Caesar.
Caesar. Okay.
He's been to a couple of meetings. He's just been very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, physically in the studio?
No, he's been to a couple of Zoom meetings.
Okay, I was going to say, I do not recall him coming into the studio, because usually I frisk people up and down before they can walk through.
Well, we've been doing this, what, 3 months now, 4 months?
Yeah.
Seems like forever.
Okay, so just remember now, you come in the studio, I'm going to frisk you up and down.
We just lost a member.
There go the girls.
And if I frisk you and you like me, then I'll make sure you enter.
There goes some more people.
Will you be there tomorrow?
Some of it is okay.
Okay, so we had Chuck judge last month, and now we've already had Nancy judge.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, she did February.
Okay, so it would be Sylvia would be up then.
Look at her face.
Odd couples.
I'm choking on my pizza.
Who's an odd couple?
Okay, so Sylvia, you're the judge you're the third judge this month. You're muted.
I think that might be intentional.
Yeah, exactly. So how do I do it with the Zoom thing? I don't.
Send a. Do you see the chat window?
Yes.
Send me your score on the chat window.
Okay.
Yeah, pick Jim. Send it only to Jim.
Right. I see.
And I'll punch it in the score sheet for you.
Okay. And when my images come up, I just don't score. Is that what I do?
Just put it.
Yeah, it'll be a 0.
0. Just put 0. Okay.
Yep.
That's Robert's score for me. No.
Hold on. I just lost the sheet. Oh my goodness.
Oh goodness.
And go ahead and jump to the May competition score sheet. Robert will do that. There's a couple of those 2 makeup images from Brian that he had the email issues last month and couldn't get them sent to us.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna do those first.
Okay, so all right, I saw them, but I don't see a category on the sheet for them.
Well, go to the May competition score sheet. They're added to the end of the assigned category of the
Oh,
May.
in the May competition.
Because they're makeup for May.
Okay. All right, I'm just gonna have to send you my numbers.
That's fine.
I'll send it in the chat because that would take me.
Just text them to me and I'll punch them in. Because I have it up on my screen right now.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna be a situation. So let's see.
Okay, and last month's category was Into the Distance, AKA Vanishing Point.
Right. Okay. Wow. Let me, because I know I have it up somewhere.
You ready for me to share the screen?
I have it up. Okay, I have it up.
Okay, because I'm going to actually share my, my screen.
Oh yeah, okay. You're gonna pull it up for everybody, right?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the category again? I'm sorry.
It was into the distance.
Oh, okay, got you. Into
Yeah,
the
AKA
distance.
vanishing point, but yes, into the distance.
Okay.
So yes, this is first image, Brian multiplied.
Okay.
Sylvia, you need to judge these two, even though for them last month.
Okay, thanks.
And I'm gonna have to jump my screen for a second because I'm gonna have to put my chat window where I can see it, because right now my Lightroom full screen window is covering my chat window. So give me a minute here to see if I can break the chat window out. All right, I've got that configured, so I just need a score from Sylvia.
Oh my God, 4 Brians. Holy crap.
All right, that score is a 22. That's an honorable mention for Brian. Next image is riding through a caged tunnel. And I'm trying to get my text, my chat screen back up here. That's a 23. That's an award for Brian. All right, critique.
Yeah. Brian. Which Brian is this? Brian.
Brian Condis.
Okay, Brian Condis, you missed an opportunity.
What?
You missed an opportunity.
Okay, can you explain what opportunity I missed?
Yes. In a situation like this, where you have control of the entire narrative, I should have seen like the and I'm not being funny, but you know how the ape man when he started upright, started walking,
Yes.
where he gets bigger and taller and taller and taller.
Right.
Well, you're basically pretty close to the same size, which is not forcing the perspective of the vanishing point.
Yes. So I needed a wider angle lens.
No, you did not.
No.
No, you just need to reduce the size of you.
Just make it smaller, you know, receding is what Robert's getting at.
So when you did the layering, just make push 'em.
Or change the pose to be smaller and smaller and smaller. That would look much more natural.
Yeah.
So you mean so this was the perspective without me altering the height of myself. So you were saying that if I made myself smaller in the distance, that it would be more effective.
Make yourself smaller in the distance and larger in the foreground. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now it could possibly have looked awkward with this shadow not following, you know, that as well. However, changing the pose to be smaller and smaller in each pose could be, you know, a natural way to do it. Of course, it's also actually pretty easy to distort the shadow and make the shadow, you know, follow the shrinking person as well, and really force that.
Right,
perspective.
because it's very similar and very subtle.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, okay. Now, this one, I had a suggestion on this one. The vanishing point is really good in this one. The guy's pretty far away. I was going to let me get in here and
Give him some French toast.
find it and suggest moving, if he were photographed here as opposed to where he actually originally was, which was there. See the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a lot more visual impact having the guy way up here and then the vanishing point versus back there.
Okay, I see that.
See the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lot stronger.
And that that fencing, that encaged area, all of those cages are the exact same size, but because they go back into the distance, they appear smaller. So I'm saying this to say, that you see the perspective rather obviously here,
Yes. Yes.
but in the shots prior to with that where you were standing, it wasn't obvious.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a big difference between this one and the other one. Maybe that's why this one scored higher. So.
Yes, absolutely. And I love, now, Jim, on this one, did you crop in or did you move the actual biker?
I just moved the biker. I just
Yeah.
cut the biker from here, moved him forward and scaled him bigger.
Yes. Now that, I'm just saying that's a lot more effective.
Yeah,
At
and
this
I'm not
angle than it
saying
was.
I'm not saying that that's how it should have been done, but if the actual real photograph had been taken when the biker was in this position, then you'd actually have, real shadows that.
Yeah, I know you have the shadows there.
Yeah, I just for the sake of doing this example, I wasn't going to worry about compositing shadows and
Right.
such.
I just said this has much more impact. So you did not, Brian, you did not know this writer, did you?
No, I didn't know him. No.
Okay, gotcha.
But I think if I would have used more of a telephoto lens, then I could have gotten
Or
him
just
closer to me.
Just waited for him to get closer to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, or waited, but he was moving fast and I didn't want to get hit by the bike. So
Well, but Brian, getting hit by the bike is better than being in this club and being thrown under the bus. Just saying.
You didn't play chicken as a child?
So,
no.
but thank you for having a high enough resolution image for me to be able to do this with it.
Right. Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to move into June assigned. Let me get to June assigned as opposed to April assigned, which is odd couples. So first image up. Let me get my chat window happening here. There we go. High mileage breakfast. And I'm sorry it keeps changing from full screen, but every time I'm doing something on my other notes and my other monitor, as soon as I click on anything else, it jumps it out of full screen. So just sorry for that.
My entries, Jim, are on the sheet itself.
Oh, you're working on the sheet. Oh, okay, I was watching the chat window. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for cluing me in because I've got Sylvia's on the chat window. So. Yeah, I really need like 4 screens going on here. All
Then,
right.
Jim, at that point, you would be playing four square.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, you can laugh at that. That was actually quite humorous.
No, it wasn't.
But you can laugh at the fact that it wasn't quite humorous.
Good one, Lynn.
All right. So that's a 21 honorable mention for Jim Hagan.
Okay, down there.
All right. So, and it's just going to be a whole lot easier. Guys, are you okay if it doesn't go full screen? Because I have to keep flipping stuff on my other screen.
All right, then hit your tab key then.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
get rid of your sidebars. That's better.
Yeah, I'll do that. That's going to work that's going to work a lot better. And no, I can't do that either because guess what? I just realized the lights dim and the lights out on Lightroom actually affects the other screen too, and actually does lights dim and lights out on the score sheets.
But yeah, just leave it like that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that. So, but that was a surprise to me to find out that even in Google Drive on a score sheet, when I hit lights dim or lights out in Lightroom, it affected the score sheet. So, all right, let me get my chat window up. And this is Habana, old and new. That is also 21, honorable mention for Brian Condis. This is Ordinary Trail Through a Fantastical Woodland, Altered Reality. '21, honorable mention for Brian Condis. Out for a Stroll. '22, honorable mention for Doris. Too old for this.
I like that.
'22, honorable mention for Brian Schneider. Eastmas. '22, honorable mention for Lynn. Oil and Vinegar. 22, honorable mention for Lynn. Don't splash on me while examining your teeth. '22, honorable mention for Lee Nguyen. Are you my mommy? '22, that's an award for Jim McWilliam. Namaste. '21, honorable mention for Karen Robinson. Sony versus Fuji.
That's easy.
Fanboys.
'23, that's an award for Karen Robinson. Don't compare, don't mix. '22, that's an award for Jim McWilliam. Nest. '23, it's an award for Susan Anderson. And that rounds out the assigned. So now we've got general category. Let me get my score sheet moved up here. This is Carl Edwards, airborne at Talladega. 22, it's an award for Jim Hagan. Cheetah Run, Claws Out. '22, honorable mention for Brian Condis. Close to Paradise. '22, honorable mention for Sylvia. Coneflower. '23, that's an award for Doris. Disney Castle at Night. '22, that's an award for Jim Hagan. Puddle Building.
You skipped 2, Jim.
Huh?
You skipped 2.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is Paradise. '22, honorable mention for Sylvia. Poolside on the Bay. '22, honorable mention for Brian Schneider. Puddle Building. '21, honorable mention for Brian Schneider. Dreams of Spring.
Alter reality.
Altered reality, thank you.
No.
24, that's an award for Lynn. 4/7/2020. 23, that's an award for Lynn. Lonely Tree. 23, that's an award for Lynn. African Lily. 22, honorable mention for Karen Robinson. Walk on the Beach. 22, honorable mention for Lee Brand. Look, Mom, no hands. 22, honorable mention for Lee Brand. Olds Park. 22, it's an award for Susan Anderson. Sunlight. 22, it's an award for Susan Anderson. Buddy. 22, that's an award for Fong. Oops, sausage crown.
Yeah.
$22, that's an award for Fong. Okay,
Excuse me, Jim. So my body is supposed to put a sign. I put the wrong letter, put the G. This a sign.
oh, okay. All
I
right,
put the wrong letter. Yeah,
That-
body.
all right, this one is assigned.
Hit the bathroom for just a second.
Yeah, if everyone wants to take a quick break before we come back and critique. And we will move this one. I'm going to move this on the score sheet also. All right, Fong, I fixed it on the score sheet. It's now credited to assigned for you.
Okay, thank you.
So you have an award for assigned, which means you get the extra point on that one.
Okay.
Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, I've got my screens back the way I like them to be here. All right, I'm going to grab something to drink and I will be right back.
So, Jim, you've been burning up the charts tonight. What say you, sir?
You went to get a drink, Robert.
No, Jim Hagan.
Oh, sorry.
Hey Robert, how you doing? No, this is the first contest that I've entered, and I just had to throw something out there, so that's just what I did.
You're sort of burning up the charts here.
Well, on this particular shot, I kind of sort of made a mistake on my camera. I had it set on auto ISO, and it set the thing to 9,000. So I thought it was a little grainy.
Talking particularly about this shot.
Oh, I didn't think it was that good either. But the oil and the syrup went,
Yeah. Hey guys, I just wanted to let, I don't know if y'all got the email I sent out a day or two ago that DxO just upgraded Nick software to Nick Collection 3. And they have a 30% discount for upgrading or for buying it for until the end of June. So if you didn't get my email, just go to the DxO, to the Nick Collection on DxO's website, and you can use the link there. And I believe it's to the end of June. So they added a perspective effects to the group, and then they also kind of prettied up the interface on for Photoshop for the Nick Collection, and then they also created a way to do non-destructive, basically filter layering in Lightroom with only one at a time. So if you can only use Color Effects Pro, you can't go back in and use analog or silver effects. You can only do it with one at a time. But if you use multiple filters in one of those, then it holds on to it, and you can actually if you save it as a TIFF in Lightroom, you could go back in and redo the filters. So.
Do you know offhand if that's a free upgrade if you already own DxO?
No, it's still 30% off, but it's quite a bit less if you have it depends on the version of NIC that you've got though. If you've got a really old version, it may not accept it. But yeah, go in and check. They'll let you know.
All right, thanks.
The perspective effects that they added was based on DxO has been doing perspective correction for many, many years, and they have a lot of modules that combine cameras and lenses, and they use that in perspective effects. And some of this stuff you could do in Lightroom, but it's much better in a Perspective Effects Pro because they've been doing it for a long time, and they expect it to get better as time goes by. So. And right now they're doing a bunch of webinars on all the different aspects of the upgrade, but they're recording all of them, so they'll all be on DxO's website as well, so you can go back and look at them. Looks like we have pretty much everybody back, Jim. If you want to go ahead and start the
Okay, great. All right. We'll run critiques now. And I'm going to do something here. Hang on for a second. And let me just make this there. Okay. Good to go. Yeah, I thought with this one, there's a lot of negative space in this one, unrelated to telling the story. A little closer, I felt like would kind of show the motor oil on the French toast and whatnot. Then I just did like an alternate crop. Didn't necessarily think that the silverware necessarily had to be part of the story of the oil being on the French toast. So I felt it eliminated a lot of this excess space in the image, right, just by coming in on it like that. That's my take on it.
I thought it would be good if the oil was being poured onto that.
I 100% agree with you.
Yes.
That would have been a much more dynamic presentation to actually see it being poured on there, like just like you see on ads and commercials for syrup. I 100% agree with you, Brian.
Yeah.
I agree with that myself. In fact, I actually thought about doing it, but that was my breakfast, so I ate it right after that.
Jim,
the cost of art is your food.
Jim, you always talk about not cutting off pipes of a sickle.
Well, it depends. I say sometimes it's awkward. In fact, a lot of times it's awkward. Sometimes it's not. In this case, in all honesty, just this is me cropping an existing picture. Just simply reframing it and going from a different angle with the camera. You could have kept the entire plate in. For purposes of what I wanted to show, I had to cut into the plate to eliminate the excess space. But ideally, it would have just been framed differently in camera. And as Brian says, yeah, let's get an action shot. Pour that oil on there.
Now, before you move on, Brian Snyder. When you hear something that comes from either one of us, it does not mean that you can't override it in order to be more effective.
Yeah.
Now, generally, if you have a lake or water stream or something like that exists in nature, you don't want to cut that off. But when it's a setup shot like this, it would be perfectly fine.
Yeah, you will see in food photography, you will see cropped plates all the time in food photography. However, in certain other instances, architectural landscape and things like that, it can be visually awkward to the viewer to see circles that are cut. You know, however, like I say, food photography is one of the places where that guideline is broken a lot, because the food is so important that a circular element doesn't become such a strong visual part of what's in the composition as it does in a landscape or an architectural shot. In a food shot, we're conditioned that we look at the food, and and the fact that a plate is cropped is often irrelevant. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, Brian. So you've got this is a composite of 2 frames of the cheetah running, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Pretty good with actually stitching it together, and having the dirt flying here and all that with making that pretty realistic. The thing I'd caution you on, which has nothing to do with the composite or what you've done here, is keeping the cloning from being obvious. There's lots of very repetitive patterns here in the grass and the dirt and everything that that show lots of obvious cloning work, right to the point where it even cloned right into the cheetah's paw here and stuff. But you see all this repetitive pattern. When you clone something, don't just take a source and paint a stripe, and take a source and paint a stripe. It's much more work, but to make it look much more realistic, you really have to take the clone tool and sample and paste, then sample a different spot and paste and sample a different. You have to keep randomizing as you stamp with the clone tool, as opposed to painting a stripe, and then you see these repetitive patterns of every brush stroke where it just repeats a pattern.
Right. So I worked on this a couple different times. So the last time I worked on it, there was this line that was in the sand, which is what the cheetah was running after, like a little tether. And I had removed that, taking samples from different random spots, so that you couldn't notice that was taken away. But the other stuff that you talked about, I think, was from a previous edit that, so.
Yeah, and like I say, when that's something to be aware of for in the future when you're working with the clone tool. Just click source, click your source, then click your target, click a different source, click the target, click just keep repetitively clicking and pasting, as opposed to painting brush strokes that repeat, because the eye homes in on that and sees these regular patterns in where in nature things are much more random than these repetitive patterns that you see. But other than that, like you say, good job putting this together with the two poses of the cheetah running through there. That's great.
Yeah, so it wasn't that hard, because cheetah was running really fast. I was shooting at 1/4000th of a second, and so this was the first shot. That was the second shot. So that is how the cheetah ran. But I did have to composite to bring them closer together.
Yeah, no, that part of it came out very well, and I like the story that you're telling and how it came together in the composition with the very compacted position and then the very stretched out position of the cheetah.
Jim, that's a general image, not on a sign. You got bounced around a little bit somehow.
Well, either way, I had a different take on this shot.
A lot of images here. There were a lot more than there were in the assigned category.
Oh, he's got to combine here.
Okay.
Did you have something you were going to say, Robert?
Yeah, I had a different take on this. I thought that this thing was authentically shot in Africa. And the reason why I thought that was because those repetitive lines are tire tracks running off the cliff. Why else would there be repeating tire tracks like that.
Might have been a
Yeah,
road rash.
they do look like tire tracks, Robert. They look like lawnmower or golf cart tire tracks.
Yeah, and it just ran off the cliff. So then once I saw the tire tracks running off the cliff and the cheetah going around, I said, Brian, wow, you went to Africa. Because everybody else who knows about photography and Photoshop would not use the clone stamp tool that way.
You're right.
Busch Gardens.
See, Brian was in the back of the safari Jeep, and he was so intent on the shot that even as the safari Jeep was going off the cliff, he was
Right.
shooting out. He was shooting out of the back of the Jeep and getting. The
That's
shot.
exactly the point. That is the point right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't worry, Brian. I'm gonna call you out on a few more.
Okay. There's a really super obvious hotspot vignette going on in this image that I found distracting. What?
Yeah, I actually created that.
What's
I
that?
know. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. It's like super in your face obvious that's there. You know, that there's just this really hot spot right here on it, and it gets really artificially dark out here. Where, you know, we can see the sun is shining, but it's really, really artificially dark everywhere. The sun is still shining in the image, and I thought with this one that a tighter crop, you know, would actually reveal the contrast that you want to show in this, because I didn't think the cement mixer and the bus and the car and, you know, all that stuff, you know, was part of the story you were trying to tell of this really old dilapidated side of the building versus this renovated side of the building. And so I brought it in like this, and now it's much more obvious, I think, to people when you look and you see these, you know, decrepit old shutters and missing windows and, you know, all the stuff going on with this old building versus the contrast of the new building, without necessarily seeing, you know, the bus and the cement mixer and the street and everything else going on there.
I agree, Jim. That's a much better crop.
I'm not liking this, Brian. Your loyalty is with me, and you've complimented Jim way too many times.
Yeah, zooming in on what you want to show someone is better.
This is obviously the story you want to tell, the you know, the old versus the new.
Yes.
You know what's kind of weird about that with the old versus the new? On that old building, you've got those plants on the top, which that's kind of modern, where people are starting to put plants on their rooftops. And then the new modern house has whatever that is up there that, you know, nothing, no kind of decoration or anything.
However, if you look at the old one, you can see that they're not planted up there. They're kind of like
they're growing.
They're growing up there like weeds. They're not intentionally.
That's what that one back there looked like. It was in a pot. Those in the back, like they look like they're in pots.
No, they're still growing out the building.
Okay.
Weeds on the roof.
That's a nice close-up. Real nice use of complementary colors in this, and nice that you did go in all the way this close, you know, to it for that, and really filled up the frame with the elements with these colors.
Hey, Jim, if you just indulge me for 2 seconds and give me a vertical crop out of that. Yes, you can. I don't need to go that wide, actually. A square would do it.
You want to have something like this?
No, you can come back down. You can come back down. That's fine. That's
really nice.
Portion of that is just getting to the heart of this photograph, which is where those two pieces come together, the round and the sharp. And that's what I was interested in.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm sorry, Brian, did you say that was good? And then when Jim said it, that was great?
No, I like your crop. That's
No,
good.
no, no, you
Vertical
can't
is
take it.
good.
You can't backpedal like that.
Well, let's ask Sylvia. It's her picture.
This is a different photo. It's good. I like that.
I do like it that way. I like it this way as well, but
Yeah, this one, this way I like it, but it's almost too much green, I think.
okay, yeah.
What, in the square crop?
No, the
Oh,
original.
this way.
Yeah, the
this way.
original has too much green in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
like the left-hand corner, there's just too much there.
right. So right here, the green is balanced.
Right.
Not in this one, but the crop version of
The
it.
crop, right.
Yeah, and now the blues are now taking over, which is the heart of this photograph. The
Right.
yellows are now supportive.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, the green recedes in the background, which
Yeah.
the green isn't important because it's the background.
Correct.
Right, right.
What if you brought the bottom up a little bit higher?
The pot.
No, so what if you brought the bottom up past the white part there? Just got just a little bit of the white part in it.
So you were talking about
Bottom, she meant from the bottom.
something
I
like
think
this.
A little bit more.
More?
Yeah, about like there.
Okay.
I'm not going to dispute you in a sense, Victoria,
Uh-huh.
but I'm going to tell you why this isn't working for me.
I bring it over from the, I put more up from the left side than the right. That red thing down in the corner I don't like. Yeah, about like that. Now tell me why it doesn't work.
Because you got a hanging red, and you
Yeah.
have light leaving the photograph.
Down the right-hand corner?
Now down at the bottom, your base.
Oh,
Base, yeah.
Your base is now competing.
Yeah.
Now I have enough of the red in there that I know that it's part of the composition. I also have a base in there because the red leads me to a base. It's a stopping point. Now I'm not saying that I'm always right.
no.
Just in this case.
That is a good crop.
Yes, it is.
Oh, so I wanted to mention that I didn't put that this was artificial or altered reality because it's intentional camera movement, which wasn't an altered reality. It was just so it wasn't. So I didn't say it was.
Well, it is a composite of
Oh yes,
of intentional camera movement and
composite.
non-intentional camera movement, which that does bring it into the realm of altered reality.
Okay, all right, it does. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, when you composite them like that, yeah. Okay.
This was, I'm sorry, this was submitted as a sign.
Yes.
Is that right? Because
Yes.
I didn't quite see how it met that criteria, I guess.
So
of odd.
yeah, so it's two different concepts. So it's an odd couple because it's taking like alter reality and it's combining it with real reality. So the path is real. Everything around the path is altered. So it's an odd couple based on that concept.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that, Brian.
Go ahead.
I'm not that smart, but I figured it out.
I think it could stand to be brightened up, opened up a little bit, a little more contrast as far as processing goes.
When this photo was first displayed for us tonight, someone in our group
had a crow calling outside the window.
That
And I
would be-
was just baffled at how they got the sound effect in this
That-
photo.
That was actually me. The crow was right outside my office window here. I heard.
So you're working in cahoots with Brian.
Hence, Mike Stevenson, why they are. He's praising Brian. I mean, Brian is praising Jim.
Okay.
I'll
By
tell
the
you.
way,
Go ahead.
Taking a cue from what you were just saying. There are some cameras like Fujifilm that will allow you to record up to a 5-second audio clip with an image, and then when there's an audio clip tied in to the file, Lightroom actually has over here in a panel, you see these buttons, the audio clip will show up, and you can bring the image up on screen, press the button over here, and play your 5-second audio clip that goes along with the file. So if you did record a crow or anything else along with the picture, there would be a button over here in Lightroom that you could play it back.
How would you critique that?
I'm
Sound quality.
I'm just letting people know that, hey, that is there. There are some cameras that will allow you to make an audio notation on a file, and Lightroom does have the capability to recognize the audio notation, and there will be a button over here next to the audio notation that will let you play it back when you look at the file. So it's also good if you just want to, make a note, a note to yourself that you just want to, state what it is or where it was, or a note about what you did to remind yourself something about it. You can do that. You can take the picture, then you can record an audio clip where you can talk, and then the audio clip is tied to the file, and you can play the audio clip back in Lightroom if even if you just want to make a note for yourself about the image to remind yourself something about it for later.
So there's a bunch of us Fuji owners. How do you do that on a Fuji camera?
Now is not the time to go into that, but it's in your manual.
Okay.
Now I'm going to tell Brian on this shot. I once again didn't think you went far. You didn't go far enough.
Yeah.
Whenever you have a path that leads to somewhere, there needs to be a payoff on that path.
Yeah, I did brighten up the end of the path, but the end of the path was some trees.
Yes, that's correct. An opportunity for you to actually put a
Like a
bird in there, or something else in that section.
Okay, gotcha.
A great opportunity. And Jim, when you give that exposure, give it some warmth at the same time. Yeah, just a little bit of warmth. And I also, Brian, this is a square crop instead of a rectangular crop. And you'll note why I'll mention square, because it now leads me to that promised land that you were hoping to see, for us to see.
Right. I see that. Yeah. So
I agree
maybe
with that,
I
Robert.
can put like a person, some object at the end.
Oh, absolutely. You've already composited it.
Yeah.
A person with an umbrella, or just the two
Right.
people holding hands, something like that.
Or 4 repetitive Brians in different poses going down.
So just a thought.
Okay, cool.
We wound up in general. Hang on.
We've been going back and forth, Jim.
Yeah, but they've a lot.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Take them as they come.
Wait a minute. Let me get to June. Assigned. Okay, here we are. We're up to this one.
Doris, you know what I'm going to say about this, right?
What? What?
Your guy on the left is absolutely not only darling, but perfect. Perfect. I mean,
Kind of cute.
now everything about him, the fact he's in the red going across the top, in the background, the red brick on the side. This guy's look on camera right is just throwing me off.
Well, to me, that was part of the odd couple thing. And I actually wanted to, to think, okay, let's show a little bit more of that being the story and really show the contrast, not only in their mannerisms and their dress, but the expression between this guy and this guy. This guy is just so happy, and this guy is,
Like,
in a
what the heck is
totally
this guy
different state
going
of
on?
mind about what's going on there.
Right. Then if you're going to do that, then why not go with that crop right there?
Yeah.
Because then it also takes away from he's got then you wind up seeing there's these papers in his hand, and you start seeing
Well, that's what I'm saying.
on over here.
I don't because when I see it in this form right here, I don't see it. The form you have it cropped right there is perfect. But the other form on this, in fact, here's the thing that I found to have some continuity is that their necklaces were totally different. The things that one has got a peace necklace and and all this kind of, other's got a round something on it. But I couldn't get to that because it was so far away.
Oh, okay. Well,
Now this crop right here is very contrasty in a sense.
does that sort of crop off his wrists though?
No, it doesn't matter.
No.
And
No, because
the reason for that is to not see all the papers in his hand and everything, and it's not cut off at the wrist. It's actually the crop is up here, a good bit above the wrist.
Okay.
See?
Yeah. Okay.
Jim, tap letter F on that for me. This right here is very impactful.
Yeah.
The other one was just, it's like, what? What are you saying?
Am I the only one that thinks this guy reminds me of, and why can't I think of his name? The Irish guy in the camera clubs, the doctor. You know who I'm talking about. Just look at him.
The doctor?
Mike Sheehan.
Michael Sheehan.
Mike Sheehan. Yeah, it looks like Mike Sheehan.
Michael Sheehan or what?
Yeah, he does.
I don't think Mike would wear pink.
What?
I don't think Mike would wear pink.
He is a psychiatrist, so he probably would.
Yeah, maybe.
Is this in New York?
That's Paris.
That looks like
Paris.
Yeah, as I say, that looks like France.
Okay.
The guy in the blue shirt reminds me of Squeaky.
Yeah. This could this could be Lenny and Squiggy in France, right?
Yeah.
One thing that was odd about that though, with the way that guy is looking, the one in the blue is looking at that other guy, he seems awfully close.
Yeah.
It would, unless that's not really, maybe he's just daydreaming or something, but if he thought it was very odd, it's odd that he would be so close. Anyway, that's all. No big deal.
That's what we interpret from the photograph, but what he's really saying to himself is, did I go to the bathroom in the last turn? Because I think I need to go now.
Only we.
Running that last line.
What's that?
Oui.
Ay, ay, ay.
Going.
Okay.
My jokes are falling flat tonight.
Tonight, you said?
You mean tonight?
Just tonight? Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are sick.
You know I love you though, Robert.
I know you do.
Okay.
See, here's a picture of one of your jokes right there.
Well, it's saying it doesn't stop any of you from busting my chops, though. You know my ego is fragile.
Hey guys, it's 8:30.
Okay.
That's the way I show love.
Brian, I'm enjoying this photograph.
Glad.
How did you get all the people away from you? All the kids?
Because it's COVID-19. The thing was closed.
Whoa. Oh.
All right.
O'Brien breaking the law.
I'm calling Castor now.
Wasn't he a cop before?
Yes.
He snuck in and he snuck in and contaminated the children's equipment.
I did
No,
not.
he's cleaning it.
I did not actually slide down the slide. I just came in from the bottom and just took that pole.
Well, the fact that
We knew that. We knew that.
the fact that there's an adult who's having a great time on a children's thing, I think is a nice contrast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the story. I like the concept. Nice. That's in a way, this is similar to the Havana shot. There's a real obvious hot spot here. You know,
yeah.
I get the idea of drawing attention to this point in it, but it's a little overdone with how dark it is back here and how hot the hot spot is, and it's, you know, kind of a little obvious. What tool did you use to accomplish the spotlight effect, Brian?
I think a radio.
Okay, just the radial in Lightroom. Yeah,
Yes.
it could be feathered out. It could be feathered out a lot more, and you know, and be more subtle if it were feathered out more.
You wouldn't believe how much time I spent trying to figure out how to get the arena out of the upper left corner. It was part of what is the downtown arena called now? Amelia or something like that?
Amelia, yeah, Amelia.
Anyway,
the Emily.
Emily, yeah.
So half of the name was, the building was there and half of the name was there, and I tried to get rid of the name because I knew I'd get hammered for having letters. And it took me, I spent about 20 minutes on it, and then I figured out, let's just get rid of the whole building itself. And
yeah, you did a good job.
You did a great job.
Yeah, I'll credit you with that. You did a good job of removing it and making it go away.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will keep my mouth shut.
Rabbit.
I wonder no one recognized you.
Yeah, it's a nice concept. I think the image looks a little flat.
Okay. I did light painting, so.
Okay. All right. That kind of makes sense for the look that I see that it has. Yeah, I'm just trying to make it pop a little more right now. That's all. Just versus what it was.
Yeah.
Was this light painting again, Lynn?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this one, when I didn't realize this one had been light painted. I thought maybe it was just processing, but when I saw this one, I was pretty sure you had been doing light painting on this one. Yeah, I just want to see it pop a little bit more. Are you guys in agreement with me, or how do you guys feel?
Yeah, the brighter version is better.
Yeah. Yeah, a little more visual impact. It pops a little more with that, with a little more exposure there.
I like the concept. I guess because it was because I got it better. The oil and vinegar. I thought that was cute. But it fit the assignment.
All right, so I'm going to ask you and Jim, which do you think tastes better, SAE 30 or 10W40?
I don't know. I think the vinegar helps.
I ate the French toast afterwards, so I couldn't tell you.
Is this a composite? Lee Win. What did you say? You're muted.
No, it's not composite. Actually, I just use an iPhone token.
But the background has been painted out, which gives you the look of a composite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the background was quite a bit of
you can see
furniture stuff. So.
Right. That's why. I guess that's why you painted it
yeah,
out.
See
okay.
you can see where it's this teal color has been painted in as a new background. You can especially see it, around the hair and in some of these areas, here where it's been, you know, where you see the brush strokes have been painted in, and that's what's giving you that impression like it's composite, because, you know, effectively it's a, you know, it's a painted in background, and that's giving it that look.
Okay.
So was this person actually wearing a mask while they were having dental work done? I don't understand.
Well, that's
where the odd part.
That's what's odd about it.
But I mean, did
that was the point. That's what was
That's the
odd.
point. That's the point. They came for dental work. We have to ask them to wear a mask until we say you can take the mask off.
Oh, okay.
And see, I found this one to be a really great concept. The execution was a little odd, but the concept was quite good. Whereas Brian ran off all the kids in the playground just so he could make his damn shot. Yeah, the concept was great. The execution was a little poor.
Okay.
Maybe he just offered him candy.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's usually how they end up in a cell.
I'll show you something that I think helped this one, Jim.
Okay.
Yeah, and let me go back to you there. Let's see the difference.
Yes.
No.
Popped it in. So.
There it is, and there it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again?
Got rid of the lily pad.
Yeah, the lily pad.
The lily pad's right in front of the turtle's face where he's looking up, and now it's not.
And I think I'd put a little contrast on the blue heron too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because he's pretty much in line with the tonal values of the water. I agree with Lynn on that.
I had issues with this assignment in general. I was going to try to do oil and water, and I had an epic failure. I had a thin vase that I filled with corn oil, nice golden color, and I tried to put it in a larger, similarly shaped vase that I was going to fill with clear water. And I photographed each stage of it. And when I finally put it, and when I physically put the golden vase inside the clear water, all you saw was the golden color because everything refracted all over the place. Yeah. And it was an epic failure.
Well, I don't.
And I spilled it too. So Jesus, you know.
I don't see what the odd couple is here because I would see a bird and a turtle all the time, I would think, in nature.
Well,
the only thing that saved it as far as that part went was when he said the title, because I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing as you, Brian, but then with the title.
I agree. You know, the title is what, you know, is what overrode what you're talking about, because I agree. Yes, you see turtles and birds together all the time, but once you put a different twist on the story with the title, that's what, you know, that's what.
Thank you.
So there you go, Lynn. There's the contrast on the bird.
Yeah. Now because before the log kind of dominated the thing because it's lighter.
See the difference?
Lighter. Yeah.
Boom.
Oh yeah.
So this is so there's with the flat contrast in the lily pad, and there's lily pad gone and contrast on the bird.
I'd like to submit this version, please.
An award.
All right, this one here, I thought the positioning of the elements was kind of
absolutely
awkward. That left this lots of empty space here, empty space here. I kind of thought the book should have been like rotated around more, you know, to the book, and only having limited to work with, you know, I still, you know, just in order to try and help with that, I did come up with, you know, just an alternate, you know, thing to show, just, you know, rotating the book and getting rid of some of the white space. but not having all the elements, only what was in this to work with in the first place, it's still not as good, as it really could have been. I like the gun going this way, but if that book could have just been rotated perpendicular to it and filled in this space, over here.
I really, really liked those two together.
Mm-hmm.
The yoga book and the gun. I thought, oh, those are definitely some opposites.
Yep. Yeah, just the positioning is
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you on that, but those two things together, I thought were really good.
Karen,
Yes.
with the yoga book, you couldn't find a different position?
That one was okay. That one was okay, Robert.
That was good, Robert.
That was good.
Okay.
Karen, you're killing me, girl. You're killing me. You are killing me.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
What does this strap have to do with anything?
Yeah.
It doesn't, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't need that strap. That strap is giving me some other portion of this comparison that's not necessary.
Okay.
So it's about the camera and the film, or the newer technology and old technology.
Yep.
It's about the yin and the yang.
Yep.
But right now you made it about this strap. You put that third element in there, which became a very prominent element.
Because I was too lazy to take it off. Huh?
And I was too lazy to give you a higher score.
Now, I don't mind it like this. I even feel like this little bit of the strap here, the color of this strap actually works very well with the color of the ring on the lens, right here.
Yeah.
What I like.
With picking that up and working with that. But yeah, back to there. There's a lot of excess, that doesn't need
And
to
I also
be there.
thought it should be angled. The camera should have been angled a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You mean the way
That's just me. That's just me, though.
You mean the way it was shot?
Well, like if the front of that camera was a little more to the right and the back was a little more
tilted.
to the left.
It has just the slightest bit of tilt. It
does.
It's not straight on, and it's not really tilted. It's just at a slight angle, and the slight angle is awkward. Either exaggerate the angle or put it square to the composition.
So in this case, Karen, Sony lost.
I'm thinking a good composition would be that the camera is taking a picture of the film.
Right.
That's a lot to work on too.
So that the lens is looking at that instead of this angle, have it like one competing against the other, like the camera taking a picture of the film.
But then you wouldn't be able to see the name of the camera because it's Sony. Remember, the title is Sony versus.
Well, it depends on the angle that you shoot it at. That could still be done.
Yeah, that's true. You could put it.
That would be worth. That would be a concept worth exploring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apples and oranges. You've got the two elements there that that don't go with each other. Yeah, apples and oranges, and I keep becoming visually drawn to the plush blanket, which becomes a whole third. It becomes an odd trio with like, why are produce baskets sitting on a plush blanket?
It was the only thing clean I had.
It becomes yet again a third oddity in the image that kind of mentally distracts me from apples versus oranges when I'm thinking produce baskets on a plush blanket.
Jim McWilliams, your sound is terrible coming out of your computer.
You need to move closer to your microphone,
terrible
Jim.
coming out of me.
Move closer to your microphone, Jim.
Okay, I'm trying. For a while, the background was considerably darker, and I think I should have left it that way, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because it didn't seem to be as pronounced as it is here. So that's it. And
Yeah.
all the oranges are fake, but only part of the apples are fake.
Yeah, I think your space background is appropriate, Jim, because it sounds like you're talking from a NASA spacecraft in 1967 from out in the solar system somewhere.
I'm in the Apollo 6 spacecraft.
You sound like the audio from those old NASA films. Okay.
Change his name to Mr. Tom.
Major Tom.
I don't know what kind of meaning this thing had, but it had a very poignant meaning for me. Is the eggs in the nest, the natural eggs or the white eggs in the nest, meaning birth, and the apple representing to me education and growth is where you leave the nest. So that's what this symbolized to me. I don't know what the author's original meaning was, but I thought that was a bit poignant for me.
Maybe because Susan's a teacher. Hey, she maybe.
You know, I didn't put that much thought into it.
Oh, come on, Susan. I was trying to give you a plus.
It's just visually interesting to me. That's all.
Well,
and
really visual.
Yeah, and on a technical aspect, it's very, very well lit, very well composed. The technical aspect is it's very beautiful to look at. It's a beautiful image to look at, the way it's lit and that it's been processed.
Thank you.
Does that egg have a blue tint to them?
What's that?
I said on my screen, the eggs had a blue tint to them. I'm on the phone.
Yeah, on my screen, they're exactly the way they should look, and I'm on a calibrated screen, and they look perfect on my screen.
Yeah, they look very neutral on mine as well.
Yeah.
I liked it.
But yeah, if you're looking on a phone, I could your phone is probably on the blue side with this rendition.
Look nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. I that was my takeaway from it: leaving the nest and being born in the nest.
Yeah.
So, off to college you go. I think that is one of the reasons why I find photography, when it's done well, your receiver will formulate their own narrative, and that's a good thing.
Okay, Fong.
Yes.
This the processing of this, the shadows have gone really, really, really blue, super blue in the shadows. And oops, hang on. And I don't know why for ISO 320 that the noise is the noise is just insane in this for ISO 320. Color noise, luminosity noise, all this noise is there. And the other question I have is, were you trying to take something out of the picture ever? There's all this strange brushstroke looking stuff going on in the water over here that is kind of like visually distracting. Whatever this is going on here, I don't know what that is, but it's something in the processing turned all the shadows blue and really brought out a ton of noise in this image.
Okay. Yes. I take another fish out and
Oh, you're
bird.
taking a fish out of this? That's what
Yes,
you're doing here? Okay,
yes.
yeah, because you can see all the brushwork that's been done there. It jumps out.
So what the best way to do that?
It's not to muddy the water.
Huh?
Your best
That
way
was
would
good,
be
Robert.
do a patch.
So I'm
Photoshop.
guessing from your title that's a sausage. So
Yeah, correct.
you're feeding the alligators and the birds.
Yes.
You're not supposed to do that.
That's bad, 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 bad.
You can get in a lot of trouble for that.
And you could also get low scores on your picture too.
Don't feed alligators. You make it bad on those of us that kayak.
Fong says she don't care about y'all kayak and she wants a shot. This is Jim's.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Man, I wish you had a longer lens.
Yeah, this was shot with a 200mm lens, and I'm guessing it's cropped in from that. Is my guess. The issue is
I was about 500 yards from this.
Yeah. The timing is perfect. It's just it's just soft. That the sharpness that it really needs to have just is not there. And like I say, I'm guessing, like I say, yeah, you were really far away with only a 200mm lens and had to crop in to get this, which it's a great moment of action. It's just soft.
Yeah, and 1/800th of a second is a little slow for this kind of speed.
2000 would be your starting point.
2000 at the very slowest.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably could have got it in focus if you'd had it at that higher, a faster shutter speed. Obviously, you'd have to jack up your ISO. Anytime you're shooting fast, things that are moving, you're going to have to increase your ISO to get the light that you need and the stop action.
Yeah, that's correct. So when I was shooting the cheetah at 1/4000th of a second, my ISO was 3200.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But it doesn't look like it when you have a good exposure.
Right.
Right. So, yeah, this was D300. Yeah, that's an older camera. You still have room to go above ISO 200 with that camera. You probably can't go too high with that camera, but you still have room to go at least to 800, I would say, with that camera.
I gave that camera to my daughter a couple of years ago.
You don't like your daughter, do you?
It's better than what she had.
That's the same thing my dad does to me. Here, I bought a new one. You can have my old one.
Doris, I'm finding from where I sit, I got a little competition on this one between the two. And I'm not sure if it's working for me or against me.
Between this element and this
element.
Yeah. Now I did, so you could see, what it looks like if you take some of the other distracting elements out, from around here.
That's better.
See if that helps you.
It's a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now it becomes more like, okay, this might actually be, the story without these competing elements. With the competing elements, it kind of looks like, well, this is as random as everything else.
That's correct.
That was there. Now, if you take that stuff out, now it looks like, okay, now you've got, the flower bud and the mature flower, as kind of a story.
Right. I agree.
Nice capture of the castle. Great detail down to the lights. Nicely exposed. The only thing I would say about this one is just not needing the people down at the bottom. I don't think there's any reason why it couldn't stand to be just brought up and not have the heads and people in the crowd down in there.
And one more thing about that.
I was going to say, in this particular photo, I didn't know what to do with the balloons. I really like the balloons in the castle together.
Oh, I have no problem with the balloons. I have no problem with the balloons at all. And then this little element right here might just clone this, element out here. But the balloons I have no issue with the balloons. There's lights on this side to kind of balance. Okay, there's balloons over here. No problem with the balloons.
The only thing I actually did to this photo, there was some guy standing in front of me with the cell phone. I cloned him out. But other than that, I mean, this is almost exactly the way it was.
Do something for me, Jim, just for the sake of argument. Go put a gradient on this, and I'm not sure if it's going to work what I'm thinking about. But put a gradient on it and take the temperature and run it down. And run the gradient. Start the gradient near the bottom. Start it from the top to the bottom, but start down, right, and then bring it down. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. And in this, we got to take the temperature down toward the blue. And I know, keep going. And then go down to the color chip and add a bit of blue in there.
Have any of you guys messed with that new hue button that's in the middle there, the brand new thing from the latest update?
The hue slider right here?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that blue right in there. And although I got some unintended consequences, the castle looks really good blue. Looks almost like ice in this particular case. But what I was headed for was the background black. I was going to make it more of a bluish tone, but I'm starting to like this. The castle itself is being blue, and so by making that blue, I was going to accentuate the other colors in the lower left, the balloons, by bringing their value up a little bit and saturating it.
I guess because I'm still a rookie and this is my first competition, I really didn't know what altered reality was. I mean, the castle is exactly the way it was taken.
Yeah, this is not altered reality.
That is not altered reality at all.
Yeah, don't worry about that. This is not altered reality. No.
All right, one more thing on the brush there is to take the opening of the castle at the bottom and accentuate the warmth of that by opening the values up a little bit and then running the temperature.
Hang on just a second.
Yes. All right, now what we're saying here, Jim, is that you're taking color and remixing it to give it more of a feel more than reality, the actual what was there. Yes, you did a great shot of what was there, but then what is your story behind what was there?
I just like to get a story.
Yes.
I actually wanted to call it Balloons and Castle.
Yes. That's
story
great.
To me was the balloons.
Okay, you're making my point. The balloons and the castle. You see how what has just been done has tied the two of those together?
Yes.
Because you have something of a castle that's got a lot of color in it, and your balloons have a lot of color in it. And they're both asking for your attention. Obviously, the castle is winning out, but they're both accentuated.
Jim, remember this is art, and so you can make some adjustments without being altered reality. You'll see altered reality in a few minutes.
Jim, hit the pipe key and let's go to before and after.
Here, you want to do that?
Yes.
On my system, it's the letter Y.
Okay, my bad. Yeah. But the balloons are up now. That the entry is brighter. The balloons have all the color in them.
You know, I think that's better though. Not blue, but the colors lit up and everything and lightened up. But I like the green.
Either way.
Yeah, I mean, but I do like the lightened up part and the balloons illuminated more.
Yeah, and let's see if I can just use this to show you. Let's see. In the brush here, the new hue tool. You know, if you go to HSL and you go to hue up here, the difference is each of these sliders, if you think of the color wheel as being 360 degrees, each of these sliders in Lightroom only gives you 30 degrees of leeway. You can only take yellow as far as orange. I mean, you can only take orange only as far as red in one direction or as far as yellow in the other. You only have a 30-degree swing that you can move this on the color wheel, versus if you go here and you want to use this tool here, this new hue slider they give you gives you 360 degrees of adjustment. So whereas on the hue sliders down there in the HSL panel, orange can be moved as far as red in one direction or yellow in the other direction, any color can be made to any other color on this. So I take that and want to adjust it, it can go to any color. I'm not limited to that 30-degree spread. I can go to all 360 degrees of the spectrum and change it to any color using that slider.
And
So,
it's not everything. It's localized.
mm-hmm.
So it's not, because the HSL that affects everything.
Here, yeah. So let me see if let me delete that. And so now if I just paint this castle using the auto mask. Now let's see. Yeah. You can change it through the entire spectrum and then do other adjustments, you know, here to it, you know, as well. So that's how this tool works versus the hue slider in the HSL panel.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's brand new this week.
Yep, just came out. And Karen, this is yours, right?
No, it's Sylvia.
Sylvia. And yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I think, was it you that sent an email about could I replace an image and whatnot? Yeah, and unfortunately, by the time I got that email, at midnight Wednesday night, these galleries were posted and published and everything was done. And that when that message came through the next day, it was already way too late to undo publishing the galleries and go back. And
when I looked at it the next day, I went, well, it's out of focus on the whole side. So I had a better one, but it's fine. I knew you were, and I had taken some of that white crap off the side of that green part to get rid of some of that speckledy looking. But anyway.
Yeah, what I did with this one to see, it's I really kind of like this really soft out of focus background and stuff going on. It could probably use a different ground stuff, but the thing that interfered with it was right here. So I wanted you to see.
Okay.
If you see the difference of taking that out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right there, and then.
I think
and then, possibly, like I say, see this green down here, we kind of take that up. But I do think the background in this is, is kind of lovely. This part back here, that softness and whatnot is rather nice.
Thanks. Yeah. So I bought a new macro lens, so I've been playing.
Well, good. That's good.
I'm good.
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of like what's going on here. I thought there was some potential to make it more engaging by, as opposed to having this stuff, you know, this drain grate and stuff, and this wall right here, to give it the infinity look, and just start with the water, and let it go out to there, and also straighten up these diverging lines here, and gave you an alternate thing to think about of starting out just with water without that stuff in the foreground, and then like I say, I also straightened up the diverging lines in that to kind of show you an alternate take on the composition.
And so you use that guide to straighten out the lines. You use the guide, I assume.
Yeah, well, yeah, and in this case, actually, just as simple as using the vertical button.
Oh.
See, you don't even have to use the guides. Just one click on the vertical button fixes that, even before worrying about taking this out.
The reason I left that foreground in is because I thought it was kind of cool. I obviously artificially changed the color of the water, but splashes with my original crop, you could see splashes of water on the deck, and so I thought that added interest.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brian, I'm asking you to point out where those splashes of water are.
Well, he's got to show my original crop. That's not the original crop.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I want to show you your original crop. Okay. Yeah. And I want to see the splashes of water.
Over in the lower right corner.
Where?
Lower right corner.
Right there. Yeah. That's
okay. You want me to ignore the entire photograph for those little splashes of what you call water?
What I said was added interest. I didn't say dominated the photo.
That's the problem. That is the problem, because it does dominate the photograph enough to say, what is that? I need to take it out.
Okay. All right. So show me your version again, Jim. Okay.
And you said you changed the color of the water. What's over here on the middle of the left-hand side? It looks like a different color, like it's yellow.
Oh yeah, I never noticed that. Why I did that?
You missed part.
It's probably it probably just got missed right there.
It really is yellow.
This is actually truly reflecting the clouds. Probably originally the entire water probably was looking this color, reflecting the clouds, and it looks like it was probably just mist painting it in there.
I didn't paint it though. I just used the hue in it because this.
Oh, okay. Then that
original image was so gray that the water was, when I the blue, it just enhanced it.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably needed a secondary adjustment for this area because the initial hue adjustment, this was outside of the tolerance range of the original hue adjustment.
Okay.
I didn't think the colors worked too well together in this, and it was kind of, muddied up looking here. This is one of those instances where I actually went and looked at it and thought, with the colors feeling kind of visually awkward, what if you take the color out and then adjust, for this kind of muddiness in the exposure here, and went with monochrome versus that. Just a thought.
Yeah.
I feel the same way, Leslie.
What does that mean?
That this image is not really working.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, this was an attempt at salvaging something, but overall, even so, with this kind of tree growing up out of the puddle. You know, if that hadn't been there, you might have had something more going on here. But the kind of placement of the building, you know, on one side of the puddle and nothing balancing on this side of the puddle, and it's just, you know, visually muddied up, you know, in here as far as the, you know, not being a clean reflection and, you know, detail of it, and the colors just aren't, you know, don't complement each other very well in this real brownish, you know, tannin color of the water with the green and then the gray of the tree.
Okay.
Now, in the interest of a little bit of time, and I don't mean to take too much of you guys' time, but Brian, I am being snarkily hard on you because you're inconsistent.
Yeah, well, I was trying to be a little bit creative here, and it didn't work, obviously, in this case.
Yeah, no, it did not work. I agree with you, and I love the fact that you're going out on a limb. I do love that, but I want you to instead of, for the sake of being creative, work with the image that speaks to you. Start there,
yeah,
and then work on the technical side to work toward the creative.
All
right. I love you, Brian.
Yeah, I know. I ain't gonna find out what's bad if I don't present some bad stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I love this image. I do too. It's beautiful.
Yep.
Lynn, just let that soak in, all right?
I'm letting it soak in, but I just want to let them know this is altered reality, Jim.
Yeah, and it was marked as such, but at the time I had my score sheet on my screen was half covered up with chat and some other stuff, and the full title where it said altered reality was not visible to me on my screen when I read it.
Well, I'm letting Jim Hagan know this is altered reality because this is actually 5 layers of stuff.
See, now I would not call that altered reality.
I would.
Yeah, because this butterfly was shot the butterfly was shot in Michigan. The flowers were shot in Pennsylvania. There's 2 layers of sky on there.
Yeah, but I mean,
I added.
Well,
it's all the reality. And I blurred the crap out of it. So
are those crocus?
Yes. Those are crocuses from Pennsylvania and a butterfly from Michigan.
Yeah, but I mean, you composite all the time and you don't call it altered reality.
It depends on how far you go with it.
Okay.
I mean, if you're compositing multiple exposures of the same image to fix your exposure, that's not really altered reality. When you're taking pieces from entirely, you know, separate images and piecing them together, that's altered reality.
Okay.
But yeah, like I say, if you're just using compositing as, you know, as an exposure compensation tool, that's not altered reality.
Well, this is beautiful altered reality.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Elevating photography to art.
Yeah.
That's Lynn's specialty.
I'm trying. I have plenty of time to do that now. Never would have had time to sit there with that many layers and do all this stuff back in my working days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Liwen.
God, Safety Harbor Marina never looked so good.
But I'll tell you this: the moon never appears in front of clouds.
Oh.
Never, ever does the moon appear in front of clouds. The moon is not within the Earth's atmosphere. The moon is beyond the Earth's atmosphere.
Actually, the moon is there. This one's enlarged. I use non-lens shooting it. But,
that's what I say.
Right.
Clouds never go behind the moon. Ever, ever, ever. Clouds never, ever go behind the moon.
So I should take off some cloud next to it?
Or put the clouds back in front.
Put clouds back in front of it.
No, you need to use a different blending mode so that the background blends into the moon.
Yeah, I can tell the moon was there, and it's been enlarged and pasted back in and composited. But that's the dead giveaway that says this is fake. Is that the moon never appears in front of clouds.
I made that mistake a couple of years ago.
The moon is millions of miles away behind the clouds.
Yeah. You guys need
Is this considered altered reality?
Yes.
No, this is considered fake news.
Love the long exposure and the silky water. I think the moon, withholding all the cloud thing, I thought the moon was a little too large. The perspective for me, it was a little, I don't know, that was just my personal opinion. But.
Yes, it's, yeah.
So when did you go there that there were no people on the freaking pier?
That's April 7th.
Look at the title, Brian. You know exactly when she was there. She was there on April 7th, 2020. That's the title of the image, 4/7/2020.
Yeah, that's the same day the kids were out gone from the playground, you know?
It doesn't tell me the time. Oh, the thing is closed. That's right. It's closed. So they.
Yeah. So nobody. Stay home.
Yeah. Although the camera says it was taken April 8th, the title says it was taken.
Oh,
April 7th.
my camera time's wrong. Actually, I didn't adjust that back.
So.
It's like a half day, not right.
Mm-hmm. You've missed a lot of daylight savings changes then, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay. At first glance, this has the look of of a long exposure shot, but the blur and the brushwork, you need to get better with the brushwork, because you can see the brushwork, especially right here where the water, where you can see the original water around the base of the tree and stuff. It's the concept where you're going with this is great. It's a case of learn to be better with the tools and the technical part of where you're going with it. But it is where you're going with the overall, with the look you're going for, is very lovely. But the technical execution needs to become better with it.
This is the image that I hated you on.
Huh?
Luann, I hated you on this image. I
Why?
really did dislike, because you've taken something that's quite perfectly balanced and screwed it up with and folks, yes, this is theater, by the way. Screwed it up with these brush strokes that are just like awful.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I mean, they are so, this image is so beautiful, but yet, look at that. Look at the distractions.
Okay, no, I say that now. So that means when I do that, I need to enlarge it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you don't hit a golf ball standing 400 yards away from the golf ball. You got to get closer.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, for all you other people, that was theater, by the way.
This is a nicely balanced composition. And the exposure is correct. You want to jump in on this one, Lynn? You're the flower expert.
Yeah, this one's not too bad. It's just kind of, I mean, yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good to me. Yeah. It just kind of, I don't know. The color's good. It's pretty, from my screen, it looks like most of it's in focus, although it's shot at f3.2, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, it's like I said, I saw that too. F3.2, 100 millimeter lens. It has more depth of field than you would expect it to have.
Yeah.
You can see it's focused on this element right here, but it has enough depth of field that it's not really distracting with getting suddenly too soft in front or too soft in back. Yeah. It actually has a pleasing look to it. Now, this is what I wanted to ask you, Lynn, being, that flowers are kind of your thing. Would you have cut this off or pulled this off or removed this piece of the flower for the shot or not, being that it's, kind of turning brown, whatever, or would you have left this in and retouched it?
I probably would have taken the at the very least, if I had shot it that way and I really, really wanted to use this, I would have taken the brown off of those leaves at the very least. Ideally, you want to shoot it where that's not showing if you can. But yeah, the problem is if you went from another angle, you wouldn't have those two blocks.
The symmetry of this is very nice. My question is, would you have, before taking the photo, would you have removed this petal and shown more of these stems here and left these two on the side, which are more symmetrical and don't have brown?
Yes. It just depends on how how easily it would have been to take it off, or if I was at a botanical gardens, I wouldn't. The only thing I remove at botanical gardens is deadhead stuff, but that's not really, that's part of the blossom, so I wouldn't mess with it. But if it's your own plant, you could. Although,
if this was something where you wouldn't get in trouble for it, I'm thinking I would photograph it like this first to have it like this, and then I get my Swiss Army knife out of my pocket and slice it off here and shoot it again, and then see which I like better.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, I would have gotten rid of the brown lines at the very least.
Yeah. Okay.
I had that same thought in my head, Jim.
Now, I like this, and my personal feelings is I think this is a great story going on here, and I'm just curious to see, what if we just narrowed it down and without all that sky up above and whatnot, and just brought it into, to that part of the story right there, and see how we feel about that. A little bit more up there.
Yeah, we lost Lee.
Well, what do you guys think?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, I think the crop is better. When I first looked at it, I thought that there was too much sky because there wasn't anything going on in the sky. So
that was my thought as well.
Yeah, it's all about the people and the reflections.
Yep. So yeah, I felt like this just brought us right into the story that original crop is too much information, that doesn't support the story. Okay. Now this next one, really dynamic, could be a really cool shot if it were in focus.
That was my problem because
it's nowhere near in focus. Nothing in it is in focus. It could be, it's really cool.
Great.
Except it's just so distractingly out of focus.
Right. That really nice.
That's one of our fellow photographers, by the way. That's Scott Krebs.
If anybody knows Saber Strip lights, he is the inventor and manufacturer of Saber Strip lights.
I don't know that.
But
Lee learned how to use that whatever that thing he's on.
The big wheel.
Yeah, Lee was doing it last week. A week before last. It's called a one wheel.
Now Scott does this. He runs around with this thing and he puts his daughter on it.
It's so cool.
They do it together.
Yeah, she just stands up there with him. He doesn't hold her, nothing. They just go.
Yeah.
The problem was it was f1.6.
Yeah.
And not only was it f1.6, and it still just missed being in focus. At 1.6, I looked through everywhere just to see, and I'm thinking it's because 1/450th of a second, even whatever sliver of this was probably in focus, there's motion blur.
Yep.
Yeah, because of the 1/450th of a second was not enough speed, so that somewhere in this there was a sliver of depth of field in focus, but you've got motion blur even on whatever was in focus, you know, if it was a space or whatever. So.
Look at the ends of his fingers on his right hand or his left hand. That's
Probably where that's what I thought was the sharpest portion.
That's actually the sharpest.
Yeah, yeah, and so I don't know if he was, you know, he's not here to ask about what was the deal with, you know, f1.6, you know, why.
It was his cell phone he took it on, maybe.
Let's see. No, it was his XT2.
I was going to say, I doubt that he would take it on his cell phone.
Yeah, he was shooting 23 millimeter at f1.6. Yep.
But knowing these two, they probably said, let's go out and do this. And he grabbed the camera and never even changed the settings.
Yeah. Point and shoot.
Yeah. Point and shoot.
That would be Lee.
Yep. Probably did. And probably, like I say, probably just picked up the camera and, you know, that lens has the f-stop settings on the ring on the lens. And you pick it up in your hand and roll the ring, and it goes all the way until it stops at the low end at 1.6 if you pick up the camera by the lens. Mm. Okay.
They did a drone shot too. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Now, what I see here is a very interesting study in layers of texture, different textures from layer to layer to layer to layer to layer. This now, am I getting what you were putting out there as an artist, Susan, as you know, as a study in layers of texture?
Yes, you got it.
That's I looked at that and got that, and I thought it was you know, yeah, very, you know, a very nice image in it, and it came across to me, you know, it did come across to me right away what I thought you were doing there.
Thank you.
Here we've got backlighting on a cedar tree. Looks like.
I don't know what kind of tree it is. I'm not good at nature.
Yeah, it looks like a cedar tree.
Okay.
But yeah, they do look good in backlighting. Backlighting always works nicely with a cedar tree. I like the placement of the position and everything. I don't know if there's you know, if there's more to it than what I'm seeing on the surface. I didn't get it on this one.
Yeah. No, that's all.
Okay. Just nice backlighting on the cedar tree. Okay.
Hey, Jim, I bet that would look good in infrared.
Oh yeah, they do look good in infrared. And now what happened, like I say, especially the bright part with the sun, and if you're looking to kind of fake that in Lightroom, they do have a fake infrared filter. But what happens is the darker greens don't really convert so well, but these bright greens really well. You know, you can see right there. There's a you want to see what it would look like in infrared. There's an idea right there.
I like that.
And I have definitely used cedar trees and cypress trees are very good subjects for infrared. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out, because that is true. They do look good in infrared, especially if they're backlit like that and lighting up the leaves.
Yeah.
Okay, last image. It's a cute story being told here. Probably don't need this white, you know, up in the corner that competes with the bird visually.
Okay.
Don't need that. The other issues going on here is the bird is overexposed. You can even see the spike on the histogram over here. The bird is way overexposed. No details left in the bird. And also there's chromatic aberration in the extreme.
All the way around.
Now that's actually the chromatic aberration part for anybody that, you know, that as of yet hasn't seen this in lens corrections, you can just simply take the eyedropper and find that and click on it and neutralize it.
Oh, good.
See that?
Yes.
See, Fong, all you have to do is just zap it.
Take the highlights down on that, Jim, please.
They're blown. They're gone.
Yeah, it looks like they're
Yeah,
totally blown, but
they're gone, but I'll, you know.
try it. Let's just see if there's any detail there at all. 850 is usually
It would
pretty
be
good.
more, need to do it more with a brush.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, it's blown.
let me,
You could make him into a blue heron.
yeah. Hey, I wonder if the new tool here would do that. But it's pure white. Even you can't.
Yeah, you're not gonna get
you
it.
can't. You can't turn white into anything. White is white, no matter what you do.
Show her where it's blown over on the histogram, Jim.
Yeah, see the spike right here?
That
Right.
means it's just shot. You can't get anything out
There's
of it.
it. Yeah, there's your overexposure warning right there.
And when it's that bad, phone, you can't pull it back even with the 850.
Okay, guys. Any other questions or anything anybody wants to discuss for tonight? Now that we're done with that?
You said July 10th is the day you want to go to the park?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
And is that?
Thank you, everyone.
6:30.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, for sticking with us till 8 to 9:30.
Thank you.
Yep.
Lynn, I have a question. So how many picture can send each time? 2 picture?
3.
3. Oh,
Yeah, and it can only be you can't have 3. You can't have 3 general or 3 assigned. You can have 2 and 1 of the other. You can only have 2 or 1.
yeah.
Okay.
Same before. Okay, I got it.
And Lynn, we need to check and see. I'm going to give you my Zoom credentials so that you can see about setting up, and then let's just schedule like a test meeting on that makes you be the host, so that next Friday, I'm gonna see about getting in on my phone from up in North Carolina. I hope to be there in time to do that, but I want to make sure that you have from the computer that you are the host and can assign people to be co-hosts, and especially the speakers, so that they can share their screen and whatnot, so that I don't have to necessarily worry about that I have to be on my phone right away and try and accomplish that stuff from my phone in North Carolina and not knowing what my coverage may or may not be.
Hey, Jim, is there a cat behind your head?
Yes, there is. Yes, that's
usually he's standing on the keyboard.
that's Cheeto, and she's wearing her flower collar. I'll
Nice.
yeah, I can let's see here.
There she woke up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, now you can see her in color. That's why she's called Cheeto. She showed up on my doorstep like almost exactly 1 year ago. I walked out my door, and she was this big, and I bent down and she jumped in my arms, and so she's been with us ever since.
Nice, pretty cat. Do you have any other pets?
A lot. Yes, I'm married to the crazy cat lady.
Oh, okay.
But I do claim this one as as mine.
Yeah, Jim is a bit of a crazy cat guy himself.
Yeah, she found me. I walked out my door one day to go to work, and she was on my front porch, and I bent down and she jumped up in my arms, and that was it. That was all I needed.
Jim, I got to tell you something about Crazy Cat Lady. Now, that's not true. I actually knew a gal that had 60 cats.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
That's Crazy Cat Lady.
Yeah, I knew somebody once that had 42, but 60 to 42.
Her husband built the outbuilding out back for the cats.
Uh-huh.
I found out, guys. Good night. It was good.
Good night,
to see everybody.
Sylvia. Thanks for being here.
Good night.
Hi, thank
Hey,
you.
Jim, take the Lightroom off.
I'm gonna go. Take care, guys.
Bye, Brian.
Take care. Good night.
All right. So, but yeah, Lynn, that's what I'll do. I'll send you over my username and password so you can set up just set it up as a Zoom account. Now, what I don't know is what might happen then if you initiate a meeting, and we'll find out when we do a test meeting.
I think I can actually do that already because my name is on the account.
Say it again.
I think I could do that already because my name is on the account.
Well, we can test that too, because what I was wondering is if you did it with my credentials, would it come up under your name showing you as, showing your name as being me?
Yeah, I don't know. Because I can go in there now and I can set up a meeting now.
Well, when we're done here, do you want to test one and schedule it for 2 or 3 minutes in the future, and and then you send me the link, and then I'll come in like a member, and you start it, and I'll come in like a member, and we'll test and see how that works.
Sure.
Yeah. How about if you send a link to who else can be here for a few minutes? Just if we do like 2 or 3 of us and schedule a meeting, send a link to 2 or 3 of us, and then see if we can come in, on a meeting, and make sure you can assign other people to be co-hosts, et cetera.
I can do that.
Okay. All right, then. All right, I'm gonna end this, and you can do that, Lynn, and send a couple of us a link, and then we can join and just schedule it for 3 minutes in the future or something.
Okay.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Bye bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.